vision of Stepping Stone is really to support children who can't access mainstream education, where we can teach children with intellectual impairment, but also children with mild and learning difficulties to learn effectively. Whether it is because they have a learning difficulty or whether it is that they just cannot cope with the system of a mainstream school.
Once we started this journey, there was no school. We looked at the schools in 𝗧𝗵𝗲 and we knew our child wouldn't fit in. When we got the diagnosis, the first person that was recommended to me was 𝗬𝗵𝗲. Even though Eric wasn't in her class at that time, she's just helped us and guided us. The school like this makes such an impact. The child does not feel under pressure and they try to keep the child on their level and promote him as he feels comfortable. And if there's a setback, then there's a setback. From the start, even when we were not part of the school, we were part of the support group that the school had started.
Autism is one of the neurodiversities, and I've learned to use different strategies that we adapt and we implement for the children.
At Stepping Stone, we believe that if a child cannot learn the way we teach the way they learn. And that's different for every single child, because if you meet one child with autism, you meet one child. When you work with a child with autism, they really open your eyes, they open your perspective. Your whole world actually gets flipped upside down when you realize, how they perceive the world.
I have a daughter here, Nikita. We came for a meeting and she started the next day. The burden has been lifted. They're very skilled in knowing when to push the child, and she's a lot more independent and a lot more confident in her work. They give 200% of their time for the kids.
In learning support, we try to make sure that there's always structure, because that makes the anxiety less. High-pitched noises might annoy you, so we put earmuffs on. We are very blessed to have Stepping Stones here, because if you can see a child's getting agitated or he's getting angry, then I can switch up my lesson and say, okay, you know what, let's go to the sea, let's go to the jetty. And by the time they get back, they're all cheerful and they've forgotten what it was that agitated them. If the child doesn't want to work today, we encourage, but we never force.
For the complex needs, what we do is they each have an individual learning plan that we call an ILP, the inclusive development and the academic development. With the ILP, we work according to levels as well. So for a new child, we'll first baseline at which level he or she is, and then we'll build up from that according to their targets. With the ILP in mind, we like to take an approach called Teach. All our children have individual schedules, they have their workstations, everything is visually structured so that you know what's expected of you and to promote independency. What makes it so nice to work here is that you work at the child's pace and you meet them where they're at, and you focus, a lot of the focus is on that child's strength.
It took us about 2 years to get registered. When we got registered, we were the first private special education school in Namibia. One of our biggest challenge was to get recognized, because there wasn't a school like ours before. A highlight of Stepping Stone is that we have been able to create a path where there was no path for some of the children.